My honor and pleasure to welcome you to this joyous celebration of 10 years of round-the-clock safe parking ministry, which has transformed so many of our lives. We want to extend a special welcome this day to our elected officials who are joining us, especially King County Council Member Claudia Balducci, Councilmember Balducci represents us here in District 6, and we would also like to welcome. We would also like to welcome Kirkland City Council Member Toby Nixon. As well as any other elected officials who may be joining us here today or watching us online. Thank you for the support of our ministry and for your continued commitment to the common good. We also want to welcome today our Bishop, Cedric Bridgeforth, Bishop Cedric serves as the United Methodist Bishop of the Greater Northwest Episcopal Area, which covers Alaska, Washington, Oregon, and Idaho. So he is a very busy bishop. Thank you, Bishop, for your leadership and for your support of our church and for your vision of a church that strives toward housing, health, and abundant life for all. We welcome all of you who have supported safe parking over the years, those who are with us here in this space, as well as those who are joining us online today. We welcome those who have served as hosts, those who have stayed as guests, those who have cooked and served food, those who have worked in the community garden, those who have navigated the housing system in all of its intricacies, those who have given financial support, and in so many other ways helped weave together this community where all can find solidarity and safety and a place around the table. A few housekeeping announcements today. There are 2 different sets of restrooms available to you. If you go out the sanctuary and make a quick left turn, there's 2 single-stall restrooms. If you go out and walk all the way to the left down the hall, there's some group restrooms as well. There are 2 photographers here from the United Methodist Church, so hello, photographers. We will make all the photos of our time together here available online, and you're free to share those once we share them. But we would ask that just for today, you trust those photographers to take pictures so you can enjoy your time. There's a hymn that we sing in church sometimes that's based on the 23rd Psalm. And the last verse goes like this. Here would I find a settled rest, while others go and come. No more a stranger, nor a guest, but like a child at home. It is our hope that as we celebrate together today, that you find here no strangers, no guests, but only friends, enjoying the settled rest of children who have a place to call home. I invite you to look around the room at the faces of the people who are here today. In these faces, you can see so many friends whose lives have been transformed through this ministry, whose lives have transformed our lives. And we want to take time today to honor and remember people who have been part of our safe parking ministry over the years, who are not in the room today, people who are no longer with us. Some were founders, some were guests, some were hosts. Some had housing when they died, some did not. All were loved. And in the memory of these friends, I offer this prayer. God, all that you have given us is yours. As first you gave these people to us, now we give them back to you. Receive them into the arms of your mercy. Raise them up with all your people. Receive us also and raise us into new life. Help us as these people did to love and serve you in this world, that we may all enter together into your joy in a world that is yet to come. Amen. Here are the people whose lives we remember today. We are honored that several of the husbands and wives and sons and daughters of the people whose names you just saw are here with us today, and we want to say thank you for sharing your family with us. We remember them, and we are grateful for them. On the subject of gratitude, we have 4 people coming up today to tell you how thankful they are for the way safe parking has affected them and changed their lives. It is my honor to introduce the first of those people, the coordinator of our safe parking ministry, Karina OMalley.
Okay, yeah, the ordering of events was not really well thought through. But what I really wanted to do with this event is to thank you all, to gather you together and to say thank you, because my life has been transformed by all of you, by all of them, by so many other people. And I restricted the other 3 people to 5 minutes, but there's not a band to play me off, so I'm gonna take a while. I just want you to know that I'm so grateful. I'm just filled with gratitude. The volunteers who made this event possible, all of the people who cooked and prepared things and thought about how to do this, and the tech people in the back, and just, it was so many people that came together around this idea of bringing us together. And I have to confess that this is not a 10-year anniversary. I like 10 years because it was a round number, but we started Safe Parking in 2011. So a lot of people, I said 10-year anniversary, and they're like, it feels like it's been longer than that. And it has been, but I'll explain it as I go along, all right? You're gonna have to just allow me some cheat room there. So this is also gonna be interactive, all right? Because I don't do anything alone. You gotta support me. When I say something that sounds like, oh yeah, that might be me, I want you to raise your hand. Because I want everybody in this room to understand how everybody in this room, like I actually have a thank you written out to every single one of you. If you want to see me afterwards, I'll tell you what it is. I don't have time for all of those, but there's so many people. Okay, in 2011, Sandy Hunt had the vision to see harm that was coming to people who were vulnerable and to do something about it. She heard about the scofflaw ordinance that was starting in Seattle, and she partnered with Joe Ingram, I think, first, and came to the church council and said, people in their cars are gonna have their cars taken from them, their homes taken from them. If they parked in our church parking lot, they wouldn't get tickets and they wouldn't get towed. We can give them a parking spot and a Sandy cam. And that's what we did. Sandy gathered a group together, Randy Hunt. I'm looking at you guys, you're supposed to be waving. Sung Moon, who is unfortunately not with us anymore. Kathy Goodrich, who has also passed. Kelly Dahlman Oath, who is here today. Sharon Sherrard, who is here. Thank you so much, Sharon. Gloria Necrocious, who is not here with us today, and me. We gathered together and we tried to make this vision of Sandy's into a reality. And we opened in June of 2011. We had our first guest in July, which I now understand is actually pretty quick. And we served folks. We had folks stay in our parking lot. But we hadn't figured out how to build relationship yet. So in 2013, after we had had the building open 24/7 with our amazing partners from Camp Unity who were living in their tents in the front yard, when they moved on to another faith community to host their encampment, we realized that we really liked meeting people. We really liked hanging out with people. And we really liked having the folks who were living in our parking lot get to come into the building. So we started, and this is the anniversary, in September of 2013, we started having hosts open the building in the morning and the evening so folks in the Safe Parking program could come in and brush their teeth, because you can't brush your teeth in a Sandy can. And I want everybody in the room who has ever been a host So office host, evening host, morning host, overnight host, dropped in because somebody couldn't show up, substitute host. Could all of you just wave your hand? There's a lot of you out there. Look at this. Look at this. And I do want to call out the first hosts that took Sandy and me at our word that we knew what we were doing, and this would work out fine. And that was Mary Kustra, who is with us today, and Rodney Rutherford, and Rosemary Reed, and Mary and Dewey Miller, and Carolyn Moon, and Taryn Howe and their children, and Nikki and Lou Lockwood, and Catherine and Ursel and John Mandrell. So I'm going to try to stop with all of the lists, I know, but all of these people are so precious to me. Then, what we found is when we built relationships with folks who are living in their cars, they were gracious enough to tell us some other things they might need besides a parking spot and a Sandy cam. So we partnered with our amazing, amazing plethora of services that are here that also wanted to help. So we've got folks here, and this is the time to raise your hand, from Sophia Way, from New Bethlehem, from Nourishing Networks, from the city of Kirkland, from King County, from King County Regional Homelessness Authority, from the city of Redmond, from the city of Bellevue, from 211, from Holy Family. Holy Family has been a lifeline for us, and St. Vincent de Paul. Interfaith Task Force on Homelessness, Anything Helps. Meow Cat Rescue, which has come to our rescue so many times you would not believe. Many, many people in the parking lot have pets. And it's super hard to have a cat in a car, and sometimes they get out. And Bonnie comes down with her live cat traps and helps us recover those missing guests. Also, HopeLink and Attain Housing and Babies of Homelessness has been amazing. Some new partners, Mary's Place and Salvation Army, Congregations for the Homeless, which is now called Porchlight. And especially some of our church partners who have also opened safe parking programs and have become a web and a network of support. Newport Presbyterian, Jack and Sharon are here today, I think. There you are, thank you so much. And Overlake Christian Church and St. Jude's Parish in Redmond. And anyone who refers folks to us, or we can refer them to us. And then so many people that partner in surprising and amazing ways, like the Girl Scouts and the Boy Scouts who have done Eagle and Silver projects on property. The Kirkland Co-op Preschool and Kineo School that would share our space and have done amazing collaborative projects with safe parking guests. Old Friends Club, Friendly Village Gang. I don't know if you have a name for yourself, but you've been amazing in sort of stepping in all different ways. There's a group called A Plateful that goes around to grocery stores and collects food and then brings it to us. And here's what I love about them most. They pull up with a car full of food and say, tell us what you want. So it doesn't just give us, tell us what you want, and we'll take away the rest. That's amazing. And then some of this costs money. So that huge dumpster that you can see in our parking lot, that was not the dumpster we had when we were just a little church. And the porta potties, and the lights, and the heat, and the staff who are amazing. And all of the things that the money pays for is supported through the congregation, which even if they don't love safe parking, they still contributed and supported the ministry. We've had grants from neighborhood foundations, ECA Thrift Shop, Biella. Biella, in fact, they've always had this attitude. I told them, we're having a big party, would really like to celebrate you. Can you come? They're like, shoot, we can't make it on that day, but can we send money? So they did. When our fridge went out, we put out a call, and people in the community just came together to buy us a new fridge. And that kind of thing happens all the time. And the UMC conference supported our, through a grant that Gloria wrote and asked for, our Wi-Fi, which goes out into the parking lot so folks have connection even when the building's locked and they can get connected from their cars. But here's the group that we actually couldn't do any of this without. The crucial group that continues to surprise me with their generosity and grace and creativity, and I don't even have words. And those are the folks who are sleeping in their cars. They are willing to come here and take a chance on us. We're kind of a weird little group. And they put faith in us, they trust us with everything. You know, their possessions are all in our parking lot, and they take our word for it that it's safe. They take our word for it that they will be safe, and that we will welcome them, and that we won't be terrible. And there would literally be no safe parking program unless people living in cars were willing to participate and be community with us. So there's so many, but I did want to name a couple that popped into my head. It's a really long, I tried to edit it, I'm sorry. So Ellen taught me how to cook. She was a gourmet chef, and she allowed me to chop vegetables, and we made some amazing meals together for the community. Robin decided she wanted to do something like this. When she was living in her car, she put on a huge celebration dinner. She made 3 Sisters soup and just wanted to thank and celebrate with the hosts and the volunteers, and she did that while she was here. I also want to shout out Rachel, who, again, they put their trust in us. We were a little sketchy because we were in a church. And after staying here a while, I heard them tell another person coming in saying, "Oh, don't worry. These folks are actually not like those Christians you've heard about. They're the good kind." And I'm so grateful for that. I'm grateful for the family that came and told me on a freezing cold night in a snowstorm that the emergency family shelter was full, and they had stayed there the night before, and without realizing that they were full, and they had watched a family be turned away. And that next night they came and they told the host that, and they said, "We're gonna stay in the parking lot because we don't want a family to be turned away when we have our car to sleep in." That kind of generosity with kids in the car, that kind of generosity, I can't even fathom. And then little things like April sewed my first COVID mask. Do you remember that in March of, I can't sew. I can't really do anything with my hands. And I was like, well, I'll just tough it out. Like, not everybody's gonna have a mask. Like, I was seeing in the paper, like all this stuff about, oh, here's how to sew a mask. I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna do that. And then very next time I was in the church, April came up to me and handed me a mask that she had sewed herself in her car so I would be safe. Every year now we host a safe parking worship service, and I invite guests and hosts and other folks who feel connected to participate in the worship service, and you should watch these. We have them online. They're amazing. And I just want to thank all of the guests who participate in those with their praying and their testifying and their dancing and their singing and their blessings. And I just want to thank all of those who agreed to talk to the media. Over the years, I have put out the call saying, there's a media outlet that wants to show a different side of homelessness, and would you be willing to tell your story to them. And every single time, I'm just astonished by the grace and generosity of guests who agree to open themselves like that. And the good that has come to our church and to our program and to other guests through those people willing to share their stories has been amazing. I also want to thank those who have shared their children with us. So lots of folks come here, and it's really scary. And this is such a weird situation to be in with children. And there are guests who have been willing to share their children with the church and participate in children's choir and the youth group and going on mission trips and going on retreats. And that has been such a blessing. It's such a blessing to get to know these kids. But there's one person that is sort of singular and always went above and beyond when they stayed here, always looked out for new folks. I remember there was a very upset and confused person who had wandered onto property, and I watched them sit down with them and just talk and listen, and the stress levels went down, and it was beautiful to watch. This person also cooked and fixes things because they're good with their hands, and gardens and sings occasionally, and also wrote a how-to for the KCRHA website. And then when they moved into housing, they joined our leadership team and then eventually became a host, and has been instrumental in preparing for today. And so I want to thank Kelly.
So as Karina mentioned, I'm a former Safe Parker, or guest. I'm a member of the church, and I get to host here with the Safe Parking program. And I'm here to thank some folks that are extra special if you are a guest here. And that first is, of course, meal donors. Meal donors, particularly during COVID, when everything was closed, I think definitely picked us up as a group and gave us something to look forward to, something to talk about. If the menu was mentioned, or if we'd had food from them before and we're excited because their food was so awesome. These people bring in hot, nutritious meals. And again, during COVID, it was like almost every night. It was wonderful and it was amazing. Some of those groups are Spria, Sveta, Kirkland Seventh-day Adventists, the Kirkland Parks Foundation, and Jonathan, who kind of arranged that to provide us food through that foundation, and Claudia Haskins from Bothell Community Kitchen, and also a group called Off the Vine, who has made some amazing, amazing Christmas dinners for us that they're gourmet, absolutely amazing. Another service that's offered here is called the Garden Team, which I was really very happy to see when I came here because I'm an avid gardener, and for me, gardening just keeps me very grounded and is very healthy for the mind, and I think it affects a lot of people that way. Gardening is just, it's one of those things that you can get lost in and put some effort into it, and voila. A lot of the Safe Parkers, particularly in 2019, really got in gear on our lot, our private little spots that we've got back there. They're about 8 by 10, and grew greens and vegetables to the point where they were able to provide these things for our community dinners on Wednesday, as well as just to share, because it was like fresh and it's right there and it's right off the vine. We also had a couple of gals that grew some amazing cottage-style gardens that looked straight out of England with beautiful flowers, and the bees. Just love those gardens, that whole part of that full of bees. Anyway, thank you, Anne, and everybody else that contributes to that. So now I get to talk about the staff at the church. We have a wonderful music department, consists of C, our creative arts director, and Kevin, the piano man. They both come together and create some awesome services, but also, if you're lucky and you might be stopping by, you get to listen to them practice, which is just, whether you're sitting outside in the garden and hear them or out in the hall, it's just amazing to hear that sound and that music come up. And particularly Kevin, if you know some Beethoven, but you're not quite sure what it is, he will talk your ear off. It doesn't matter who you are, about the music and probably when it was written. And anyway, he's very amazing, a very talented man with some great fingers. And he brings back memories, I think, for some folks who just haven't sat down and got to listen to some music. Selena, I think, is hiding in the back. She's our star administrative assistant. Very multi-talented woman. She's sitting in the back because she's very good at IT and audio and video processing. She's got great artistic skills. She does graphic design for the church. She also very much supports us Safe Parkers, or former Safe Parker. She distributes mail. She gets people in and out of the laundry. She helps coordinate all of that. And she's always got an amazing quick smile for folks. A quick thanks to anybody who's pastored here. I don't know Pastor Dave or Pastor Kelly, but I've heard nothing but awesome things about them. And now we've got Pastor Meredith, who's hit the ground running behind Pastor Rich. All of them very, very supportive of the safe parking program. We also have other pastors here, youth pastors, Hav and Alex, who I've worked with them a little bit, and the youth that they work with, and they really instill, I think, a real strong sense of leadership to these young folks. Their response, they'll come up together as a group of ideas, but they'll hand it off to the young folks and maybe just support them to get a job done. So I think it's great that they get to work together as a group, and it's supportive both for the church and for the parking program. So a real heart and soul, I think, from my perspective, of the safe parking program are the hosts. Those are the people that I just didn't expect that when I came here. I had done a little tiny bit of research about church parking lots you could park in, and in fact, what it was a parking lot with Santa can, and that's what I thought I needed, and that's what I thought I would get. And I came to this place, and it just was very different than that. The church and all the hosts have been so supportive of me personally that it's obviously difficult to talk about. But I'm not, it's for everyone. They sit, they listen. They're really good at remembering something you said 3 weeks ago that you might have even forgotten about. Maybe it's a little favorite tea they'll come and share with you. I love them all, but particularly Shar, Jane, and Jan, I consider personal friends. We talk a lot, we socialize, and they've just kind of helped carry me on to feeling more like a normal person, which is not how I felt when I came here. Thank you, guys. And kind of the master host is Karina. And you had been my rock. I really was not in good shape when I came here. And you've always had a handout. I might not have taken it all the time, but I don't ever want to let go. Thank you. And now I get to introduce my other good friend, Jennifer. She's a true master at multitasking. You might have to give her a minute, but she knows it all. It's all in her head, and she'll get it done. She manages the day-to-day needs of the church and plays a major hand in their finances. She attends meetings, both church and relating to safe parking. Goes to probably too many meetings. She's really kind of the day-to-day person here that you can reach out and grab onto when there's no one else here. Anyway, your intelligence and infinite patience are really valued. Thank you, Jennifer.
So when I first started working here back in 2016, we had a woman with 2 small children and an elderly father that she was taking care of living in our parking lot. But she came back every month for I don't know how many months. She would come in and go into the celebration space and check out our donations and pretty much wipe us out. So of course, some of the guests that were here were very concerned that there wouldn't be enough for all of the folks that were living here. So I was new, wasn't sure about what our policies were, so I asked Karina, should I be limiting what this lady is taking? And we all know Karina. She said, no, these are donations, this is what they're here for. Whatever she needs, she can take. We will always have enough for everybody that is here. So the next month when she came, the guests ran down to let me know that she was here, and I came down to chat her up, see how she was doing, and make sure nobody bothered her. Sometimes she had so much stuff that I would help her carry the things out to her car. This went on for probably a year, and then one day, she didn't come. Eventually, though, she came back. It was right around Christmas, and this time, she didn't want me to help her carry things out. She had bags in her trunk that she wanted me to help her bring in. I don't know how many bags we carried in, big, black, heavy-duty garbage bags that were just stuffed full of stuff. And when we got it inside, she wanted to show me everything that she had brought because she was very proud of it. And of course, a lot of the things were stuff that I recognized as her having taken from here. Clean, laundered, pressed. Some of this stuff still had tags on it. So I asked her, are you sure you want to give this back to us? And she said, yes. I'm a little embarrassed. She said, I lived without for so long and couldn't provide for my family for so long. I was very worried that we wouldn't have what we needed. So I took the stuff not just in case we needed it, but also in case we needed to sell it so we could get groceries or pay a doctor bill or make rent. But she said that she had been in housing for a while now. They hadn't needed the stuff. They hadn't needed to sell the stuff. She was okay. Her family was okay, and she finally felt like they had enough. So she donated it to make sure somebody else would have enough. It reminds me of a prayer they say here at church. I don't remember the exact words, but it was something about making sure we have enough, knowing when we have enough, and being a part of giving so that everyone can have enough. So I want to thank that guest for embodying that ideal, for donating when she had too much so that everybody could have enough. Which leads me to our InKind Donors. These are the folks who bring us the stuff we need to make sure everybody has what they need. Paula, who does a Costco run every Monday. She brings us healthy food, fresh fruits, eggs, jerky, so much more. There's A Plateful, which is a nonprofit that gleans from grocery stores. And every week they bring us fresh salads, sandwiches, and soups. Melissa, who makes sure that we have cheese in the fridge. The Lovely Ladies, a group of professional women who bring us all kinds of things, blankets, towels for the showers. But they also gave me their phone number. And when we cannot find a donor to give us something that we need, I can text them directly. Not only do they bring me the thing, but they act like I have done them a favor by asking. They're so pleased. And to Jefferson, who every month sends us a big box of microwavable meals for our guests. I also have this wonderful donor. She pops in every once in a while, and she's somebody who has enough. She likes to shop, but her husband does not like her to shop because they have enough. So when the mood strikes, she goes on a shopping spree at the dollar store, and she buys all kinds of treasures: detergent, shampoo, toothpaste, hair ties, chip clips, magnets, little plastic organizers for the kitchen drawers. And she brings them to me. And it's wonderful because she gets the pleasure of shopping, she gets the pleasure of donating, and I get the pleasure of accepting those donations. And when I get those treasures, I hide them. I squirrel them away in a back office. It's not as bad as it sounds. And when we have a guest who is moving into housing, I don't know if you remember what it's like moving into your first apartment. You have nothing, and it's expensive to build up your pantry and your cleaning supplies and all the little things that make a house a home. So when we have somebody moving into housing, I take the Smith Brothers bags that we have from Tom and Jeannie Blank, who send in a donation of milk every week from Smith Brothers, and we go shopping here at church. And we go into that back office and look at all the treasures and stuff their bags full. And then we have another closet where we can get them spices and oils, flour and sugar. And then we take them to another closet where they can get canned goods and pasta and rice. And it's a wonderful, wonderful experience. It's my favorite thing to do here, because from the time she decides to go shopping until the time the guest is walking out the door to go to their new apartment, everyone is happy. It's a pleasurable experience for everyone. And they leave with full bags, and we all have full hearts. So thank you to our many, too many to name, InKind donors who make sure our guests have enough. I'd also like to thank those that make our Wednesday night community dinner happen. Back in 2013, Tim and Jamie Kemp wanted to give back, and they started this tradition. They would show up about 3 o'clock on a Wednesday, and Tim would crank up the heavy metal music in the kitchen, and they would cook amazing meals. Community dinners have been such a blessing here. It's a free meal that is open to church members, guests, neighbors, and anybody really who wants to have a hot meal and some good conversation. So thank you, Tim and Jamie, for starting that tradition. Since then, we've had several cooks, and it's a big job. Over the years, these folks cook for anywhere between 30 to 70 people every week. Arden and Becky Blackledge, who make wonderful comfort food, and you're all in for a treat, they're cooking today. Kelvin Chan and his team of volunteers who make all kinds of wonderful gourmet meals for us. Kelly and Ellen, who shared their wonderful cooking with us. Molly, who brings us desserts every week. And again, you're in for a treat. I hear she made salted caramel brownies for us today. And all of the support volunteers who help with the chopping and the mashing and the packaging and the cleaning. Thank you. These folks don't just fill our bellies, they fill our spirits with their friendship and their kindness. We also have all kinds of support volunteers here. Folks who come in and organize the closets, who go through the canned goods and pull what's expired, who clean the fridges, who write thank you notes to our donors. There are far too many of these people to name, but I can't express how much easier they make our day-to-day operations. Thank you. And now we have one more special person. That I would like to show gratitude for. You may have seen this person around safe parking, or at a partner meeting, or maybe out in the wider community doing some random act of kindness. Karina has been a member, of Lake Washington United Methodist Church for 22 years. And she has been Safe Parking's volunteer coordinator for a decade now. Now, in the beginning, her job was exactly how it sounds. She coordinated the volunteers. Easy enough. But as anybody who has worked in nonprofit knows, these jobs have a way of evolving over time. So now, she is a host here. She helps guests find resources, helps them find housing, helps them move into housing, follows up with them after they're in housing to make sure they are safe and happy and housing stable. She has taken our sick or injured guests to the hospital. She has taken them to rehab, to mental health treatment. She has stood with them in court, and she has held their hands at the end of life. She has built and nurtured our partnerships with other local nonprofits. And she is a huge champion for our guests. She has advocated for them here at church, out in the neighborhood, in the wider community, and with our legislators. She has been on call, I kid you not, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, rain, snow, wildfire, smoke, or pandemic, for 10 years. It's a lot. Even more impressive than all of that is she has done it all as a volunteer herself. Now, personally, I think she's a little bit magic. For example, every once in a while, myself or one of the hosts will have a particularly hectic evening. And we might not have time to call or email. We might just have time to send a quick text, something super informative like, need you. And Superman has nothing on this lady. Before we have time to wonder if she got the text, if she's busy, if she has time to come down and help, she's usually standing beside us, assessing the situation, and trying to figure out how she can best help. And of course, she's a little bit like Mary Poppins. She has this bag she carries around everywhere she goes, and I swear this thing has magical properties. a guest will walk up and ask for a particular resource, and inevitably, she can reach her hand down in there and pull out a business card or a flyer with the needed resource from one of our partner organizations. And of course, what magical person would be complete without a spell? She has these 5 little words she likes to say. And when we have a new guest who calls in looking for a place to stay, worried about the future, frustrated with their current situation, scared we might not have space, she says these 5 little words and instantly puts them at ease. I'm glad you found us. And I, for one, am so grateful that she found us. So I hope you will help all of us here at LWUMC show our gratitude for Safe Parking's MVP by putting your hands together for Karina OMalley.
Hello, I'm Ann Buck, and I am not on your program. But, and to follow on what Jennifer said, Karina is the glue that holds this together. She can tell you how to change the paper towel holders, how to jump a car, how to show compassion to somebody who's experiencing trauma, to show up, to do anything related to safe parking. And because of that, we have all learned so much about leadership and compassion and the meaning of the church to open our doors. All of that, those things are lessons that we've all learned. And so to honor Karina, the hosts and the leadership team for Safe Parking and the staff got together and we contributed for a little token because Karina, I'm so glad you're here and you found us. I'm so glad you found us. Can you come up?
This is for my laptop, which I carry everywhere, my Chromebook, in my bag. It's in the office. Oh my gosh, these little envelopes, and oh, what is this? It's pretty. Oh. SP Heart KO. Shut up.
I should put a hashtag on it. And then this is a card that I believe Martha.
Large card.
There's a very large card that our friend Martha helped organize and got a lot of people to sign. And I'm sure that if anybody didn't get a chance, they could sign afterwards. So it'll take you some time to read this. You may not want to do it right now.
You guys are sneaky.
We are, and that's why you should never tell anybody the size of your heart.
And Buck. Thank you. Thank you so much.
So, you're welcome. I forgot, I'm supposed to introduce Lenore.
Lenore. I am so sorry, but I realized that when I was assigning like all the things we have to thank for, I cannot let this moment pass without thanking Joy Tealson. Joy was amazing. when she was part of the leadership team, when she was my co-leader, and then she went and created this incredible ministry of the Move-In Ministry and collecting with Leanne White, who's here today, and Bill, who supports them emotionally, I think, and Andrea, who do a lot of that furniture and household good moving for folks moving into housing. I just didn't want to miss that opportunity to say thank you so much, because it just helps everyone so much, and it's done with such love. Lenore, this is Lenore, who I also love. I wanted to thank Lenore because she took it upon herself to translate a lot of the paperwork we have into Spanish. She was so much better than professional, I mean, I think you are a professional translator, but the one that we had found, Lenore was like, yeah, that's not really right. And also she's done amazing testimony in some of the safe parking worship services, and I think she helps Beth with her homework. Is that right? So yeah, Beth is a host here, and she has Spanish homework, and Lenore helps her a lot. So thank you, Lenore.
Okay, I wasn't expecting that, but thank you so much for everything. My name's Lenore, and I was a guest here since 2000. So I got a housing thanks to the help of these ladies, and I got that a year ago. So I'll go back to the paper, because then I will get nervous and will not say what I want to say. Anyway, my name's Lenore, and I would like to congratulate this program for its 10th anniversary, and thank the founders and the rest of the wonderful people, the organizers, the hosts, the donors, volunteers, and all that have made this a home for many. In winter 2000, with no job and a place to stay, I drove by and saw this church and parking lot full of cars. I went in to see what kind of event was going on, because it was just like, oh, okay, I just going by the street, looking for a place to park, actually. And so I come in, and I will always remember that I go into the celebration room, and I saw these ladies around, you know, some in a corner, some over here talking to each other, others chatting away with and laughing. And one of them, who I wish had come, but I don't see her face, one of them approached me, and it was like she started telling me about the program, and I just felt calm and relaxed, and I said, oh, okay. It was just her way of, her demeanor and help and smile that gave me that. When she was explaining to me about the safe parking program, I came back with my application, and with no questions about personal matters or reasons for being there, saving my dignity and troubled heart from embarrassment, I was welcomed to this community of strong women. And I say strong because it takes strength and courage to lose our pride and confront our fears, our troubles, our demons, and ask for help to recuperate our life and our sense of being. The SAFE program gave me this and a lot more. I see faces that have always, I had laughs with, long conversations, fights and disagreements, tears and hugs, all part of what a family is. It was with this group of women that I learned to accept differences, to have patience, to listen and listen and listen when someone talked more than I did, because that's kind of hard. Anyway, I learned that within our differences, there existed a common bond, and at least on my end, a cry for help that was appeased with the support of Karina, of Jennifer, the hosts, who always had a listening ear. And just as they would pull our ears symbolically when we did, something that was not right or did not follow the rules, they would also give us lots of smiles and hugs, and we felt that home environment here. Thank you, Karina. Thank you, Jennifer, volunteers, hosts, donors, and dear founders for embracing me and giving me a momentary home and forever family. Thank you.
You've discombobulated me, but I'll do my best. All right, this part of the program is called How Do We Do This? And it has two meanings, because I love that. One is, how do we do this? How do we build community this way? Well, it takes all of us doing like a lot of things, or all of us doing one thing that we're really good at. And so cleverly stashed on your pews might be a blue folder. Or you might not have a blue folder. You might be one of those people that doesn't have a blue folder. You know what? Some of your neighbors might have a blue folder and y'all can share. That's how we're going to do this. Maybe there are enough resources. There is enough for everyone, but we're going to have to share it. We're going to have to pass it around. Inside the blue folders are sticky notes with something that somebody has given us or contributed or done to participate in our community. And what I'm going to ask you to do is to either take one of those sticky notes. Carolyn, could you grab that folder that's in the pew right in front of you? Yeah, that's got some sticky notes in it. And all of these things are the things that we need to bring together to make this happen, this magic, right? This amazing community that we have here. So take a sticky note. It can be one from the folder. It can be a blank one that you write something that you might want to contribute, or you've seen given, or you think might be useful. Make your own sticky note. Grab a sticky note from the blue folder, and as you walk into the lunch, which is across the hall, put it on a poster board. There's some different categories of poster boards, and I don't think I have the categories up here. You'll have to figure that out. But like feeding people and basic needs and infrastructure and administration and those kinds of things. Put your sticky note on the right board or put it on the wrong board. Sometimes things get mixed up and we'll fix it. It's all right. It's going to be fine. And then on your name tag is a table number for lunch. If you are not staying for lunch, please grab a gratitude report on your way out. That is more fantastic stories of how wonderful our community is. And as I said briefly earlier, part of what makes us keep going is monetary donations and volunteers and in-kind donations. So there is, if you're leaving before lunch, there's an envelope where you can say that you want to give one of those things, and you can mail it back to us, or you can drop it in the basket. There will be those envelopes on your table, so you have plenty of time if you're staying for lunch. Don't worry about it. There's also little gifts on the table for you. There's a little water bottle. It has a sticker saying safe parking. It's so adorable. And it has our phone number. So if you don't need water right now, maybe take it with you and hand it to somebody who's thirsty. And maybe they'll find us and join our community, and we can welcome them. There's some other things. You should have a table host at your table to explain all the things that I've forgotten to tell you, because it's a lot. My brain, oh my gosh. Let me just look at my notes for a second. You'll be patient, right? So you're figuring out the stickers? You finding the stickers? You passing them around? Everybody's got a sticker? Show me you've got a sticker. All right, everybody needs a sticker. On the table there'll be conversation starters if you need them. You can talk about the sticker if you want, but there's also some questions that might help you get to know each other, because I all sat you at tables where you don't know everybody. Because, yeah, one of the saddest things at a luncheon for me is to not be able to meet new people. So, although it's hard at this one. 'cause I know a lot of you. There's also stickers. So these vinyl stickers, they're adorable. You can put them on your laptop or your cell phone or somewhere else and start a conversation. And it says safe parking, and invite people to be part of our community, because there's so many ways to be part of this amazing community. So yeah, that's how we do it. There's a QR code on your program if you want to donate money through the website. We're going to build community. We're going to listen, we're going to care, and we're going to learn, and we're going to love on each other. And with that, I will ask the bishop to come and give a blessing for our lunch, and then y'all can figure out if the sticker idea even makes sense. Thank you.
Thank you, Karina. With that, you know that I'm the only thing standing between you and lunch, so let me make this quick. Thanks for the setup. I know exactly what that is. But I do want to just offer gratitude for this wonderful ministry, the 10-plus years of serving exactly the way that you are called to serve. I really appreciate that, and I'm happy to see that, you know, some of the work that we're pushing to invite others into in our greater Northwest area is work that you are already way down the road on. And so we'll be leaning on you and looking to you to help others learn how they can discover what God is calling them to do. Because it may not be a parking lot ministry, it may be something else, but we do want to do our part to address issues of houselessness and insecurity of housing in our area. And so thank you for leading the way, and thank you for saying yes to helping others figure out their way to do that. So grateful for that. I'll invite you to stand. That'll help me to move right along. And you'll already be in position to head across for lunch, to find your table. Remember, your table number is on your name tag if you said you were staying for lunch, right? All right, and at your table, there will be a table host and some conversation starters and ways for you to continue to support this ministry. So I invite you to just look around this room. See the beautiful faces that God has created. See those who said yes to being in this space today. And as you look upon these beautiful faces, I want you to also think of those faces that are not here. Think of those who are still yet looking for a safe place to be, those looking for a secure place to call home. And then I invite you to look inside and ask yourself, am I open to being a part of the solution? My hope and my prayer is that you are. And as we go across and enjoy this wonderful meal that's been prepared, may we give thanks to God. May we offer thanks for all those who have made it possible for us to sit inside in a secure place and even be so bold as to make choices about what we will or will not eat. And may we offer gratitude for those who gather with us this day and for the space that's created for those yet to come. May it be so in the name of all that is holy and all that is divine. Amen. Go.